All right, as a reminder, as always, I never make these videos to criticize anybody, to attack anybody in any way, shape, or form. I do these videos with the idea of teaching. Hopefully it gets into the hands of all the right people so they can challenge what they're doing and why. And I'm not sitting here, as always, saying I know all the answers, but I do know why I would do what I do. And that to me is the most important thing, is why. Do you have a reason? Does it make sense? Can somebody challenge that and maybe give you a better idea, or just convict you more in what you believe? And so when I'm making these videos, and I'm doing a lot of these videos on the Cowboys, because I think a lot of it led into some of the issues that they had and why they're not playing on. And again, my opinion, maybe there's another coach that says, nope, this way is better than what Kurt's talking about. That's no problem. I just know everything in my mind comes through the eyes of the quarterback and understanding what I need to do to have success on any given play. So I've already broken down some of their plays up to this point. Make sure you go check those out because I don't have most of those on here. But timing and spacing become so vital in everything that we do. So what Dallas is going to run here is they're going to run the stick concept down here. Boom, stick, flat, go, flat, stick to that side, okay? So my question becomes, what are we running up here? What is the concept that we're running up here? So Dak peeks down here to the bottom, but you'll notice that the Packers commit 4 guys to these 3 over here. Don't really have, great options against that. So I'm probably going to go to the backside anyways, because you see it. They're coming down and kind of doubling Ferguson here, keeping leverage out there. So not a real good look to that side, and you're going to see Dak work back to the backside. But here's why I say, what is the concept back here? Okay, so CD is setting his guy up and then trying to beat him across his face here. So when he does that, it makes me think, okay, maybe he's running some sort of choice route. He has the ability to set his guy up and then try to beat him, okay? But with that, then I ask the question, what are we doing back behind it? So what's the primary? If the primary is CeeDee Lamb running some sort of a choice or delayed slant or whatever that is, then I need to make sure the thing outside of it takes long enough that I give CD a chance to win, and then I can still get to the next one on time. That's what I need to do. That would be the complementary. That's how, to me, you design plays, is you find the primary and then you complement everything else with the primary. So as we go back here to the backside, here's what I see. If I'm Dak Prescott, this is what I see. I see these 2 guys stacked on top of each other. So if I think CeeDee Lamb is covered, which he is really covered right here, there's a linebacker all over him, I want to get the ball out to that secondary throw, which is the slant back behind it, but I can't throw either one of these throws backside because of the timing. So we try to get back to CeeDee Lamb, but again, I've got to throw it around this guy who's covering him. I've got to throw it around him to complete it to CeeDee Lamb. To me, the concept would say, if that guy's covering CeeDee Lamb, I want to throw it to that guy that's outside of him because that guy can't cover the slant outside of him. Yet, this guy's covering both of us because our timing and spacing was off. So I don't know what the answer to this is. Is it CD pushing up and taking time to cross that guy's face, which messes up the timing of this thing as a whole? Maybe. So CD, he has to go. He has to take himself out of it. Yep, you're probably not going to win, CD. And I always tell my guys on any given play, I'm not trying to get everybody open. I'm trying to get somebody open. That is so key, that sometimes you're not going to be the guy that gets open. I need you to run your route to get the next guy open. So we get somebody open on a play. So if that's the case here, I need CD to give himself up. Go inside. You're probably not going to beat this guy inside because he's planted inside of you, but take him with you so I can throw this slant right behind it, and we are golden, and we've got somebody open right now. You go right now. What it also does is it forces this guy to cover. If you go right now and this guy wants to drop, I can throw it to you right now. So when you go right now, it forces that defender to have to go right now. You go, he goes, boom, I'm right there. It's easy. We've got to win, and we're moving on. All right, so this is great throw, great catch right here. Looks to me like they're running double seams. So we're going to run a stop route back here. We're going to run a stop route out here. We're going to run a seam here, and then we're going to run another seam down the middle right here. So love this play. Good against every coverage. As you see, we've got 2 high safeties right here. So when we get 2 high safeties, a lot of times if we get press, or I should say a roll corner, we're going to turn those into go routes. And so we get a 2-on-1 on one of these safeties if that's the case and they go to cover 2. We see the corner here on the bottom is soft, so it's probably more of a quarters type look than it's a 2 look. But regardless, when we get anything with the middle open, okay, what I'm thinking is I really want to get this one down the middle. We always want to attack down the middle in 2 high. Okay, so if I'm Dak Prescott, because I've got 3 receivers to this side, okay, we've got 3 receivers going this side, I'm going to expect 99 out of 100 times that this guy stays outside of my number 3 receiver or my tight end down the middle, right? Makes no sense for him to chase all the way inside the hashes and leave 2 guys running down the sideline. So he's always going to be outside of number 3 and hold that leverage outside. So I'm not really worried about him taking away this inside middle route by the tight end. Not worried about him. So who am I worried about? Who can take that away? Well, there's a couple guys that could take that away, but primarily it's this safety. So if this safety wants to push over to the middle, he's the guy that has the best opportunity to take that away. So because I say that, what I'm trying to do with this play is nothing wrong with the design and the way they run this play, but I'm talking to Dak Prescott and the quarterbacks now. So if that's the case, on the snap, this is the guy that I want to hold. That is the guy that I'm going to eye, and I'm going to eye him long enough until the timing of this route comes open. I'm not just going to take a peek at him and see what he does right off the snap and then get right back to the front side, because I don't need to be to the front side until it's time for me to throw. So what's the timing on that throw? What have we worked in practice? What is that? So now I'm going to get back and I'm going to keep my eyes on that backside safety until the timing tells me, oh, that middle route's getting open, then get your eyes back to the middle route. Okay, so it starts there. Hold the backside safety. And so let's run this. Watch the backside safety. Okay, first 2 steps, he's back. Then right there, where's he go? Where's he go? He comes back to the middle. So that's how long we've got to eye him. Okay, because you see, by the time he's turning and coming this way, my tight end isn't even past this linebacker yet. So I don't even have to throw this quite yet because he's not past him anyways. So I've got plenty of time to hold that backside guy. And the other beautiful thing is, if I hold the backside guy, even if I hold him a tick longer than I need to, by holding him, I know in my mind where he is and what kind of throw I can make to this guy. So I've verified what's on the backside, and I've also told myself, hey, he got really wide. You got a little bit more time. You can put the ball down the field a little bit more. All of those different things by eyeing that guy and knowing where he's at. By eyeing him, and if at any point I'm eyeing him and he turns back to the middle, what I need to do as a quarterback is go, boom, I'm right back here to my one-on-one on the backside. Forget the front side, because now they get 1, 2, 3 guys to take 1, 2, 3. My one-on-one is backside. Whatever he does, he runs the go or he runs the stop. I'm reading off of that backside safety right here. And so this is a great throw and catch. But you see who's taking it away. Who's in position to steal that? And there's your one-on-one right there. It's one-on-one, your best player against one of their guys. See the backside safety. Work off that backside safety. Once he comes to the middle, reset to the backside, hit your stop to CeeDee Lamb. Great play, great catch. Good stuff happening there, but quarterbacks always understand where your biggest problem is, where your eyes need to be, okay? So this is a play that Cowboys run a lot. Love this play. F-post is what I call it. So it's a corner route, I think, back here. Sometimes they run an in back here, and then it's coming across, and he comes to a swing route, okay? So the idea is we want to read this defender right here. If we get that defender to chase the shallow at all, now it becomes this F post route here by CD Lamb. Okay? Now, the way Dallas, I think, has adjusted this is instead of just running an automatic post route, which is what we did because I didn't like any kind of indecision whatsoever, I think the Cowboys have said, instead of doing that, CD, you can choose what you want to do. You can run up, and if it's soft, you can hook. You can run up, and if the guy's outside of you, you can run the F post. If you run up and the guy stays inside of you, you can break outside. Now, again, I don't know all of those elements, but I do know he can break inside or hook because we see that in this game. But this leads to indecision here. What exactly are we seeing and how it messes us up? So you see, Dallas gets everything they want right here. We're reading Campbell right here. He engages with the shallow. This is perfect. This is why this play was designed. Stick this guy and run a post here. If I hit the post on the move, on time, this guy is up on these safeties and it's a big play. That's what this play is. We used to call it 525 F post. Here, tight end running a corner route, 725 F post, but it was a post route right here. And so they, I think, have left it up to CD. CD comes here and hooks. Dak is expecting him to run. And then even after he hooks, you'll see he hooks, then he bounces inside off of it, so Dak's trying to throw it. Dak ends up missing him to the outside because there's more indecision. That's why, to me, just run the post. Run the post. Don't worry about having to be right every time because there's too much indecision between both of these guys. Let the quarterback read this guy. If this guy disappears and you're always running a post, I know I've got it. If this guy doesn't disappear and he gets depth, boom, quarterback, pop your eyes to the backside and work this triangle right here. So I'm going to just show you. Let's say Campbell does not jump this, and he's sitting back there for the post. Now look what we have back here. Swing, corner, shallow off of those two guys. Don't have the corner because he's being covered, but we've got an in and out off of this backside guy, all because we know what the front side linebacker did. He stayed front side, work to your backside, and go from there. And to me, it just makes the whole thing simpler and doesn't lead to any indecision or any wondering of what we're going to get right here and an incompletion. Again, details. Details to me are so important. So Dallas is running a double dig right here with the one-on-one stop or whatever that is on the backside. Okay? So anytime we run a dig, we want to have something underneath it. And for me, I want to have it something in this hook area. Okay? Because that's what I want to try to do. I want to try to high-low that hook area with the big end. Okay? So I need something to get to that area. So what Dallas is doing, and the design is right, is they're going to bring this tight end across to get to that area. Perfect. Love the play design. Back's going to come here, probably go out the front side. So if I read the backside stop, somebody buzzes underneath it, I replace to the back. All right, so everything good. Love the play design. But here's what I talk about, details. Details. Big in here, shallow here. The most important thing about the big in and the shallow is that the routes coincide. By that I mean when this route is getting to the top of his route ready to break, I need this route to be in that area of the field. Because if one breaks before the other one, doesn't do us any good because one can be covered and then the defender can go cover the other one because they don't happen at the same time. So I need those things to happen at the same time. I need that shallow to get over there into that hook area so I can throw this ball on time to the end and I can throw it outside between the hash and the numbers to keep it away from anybody else. So this is where details become so important. So what does Dallas do? Dallas chips the tight end over here. He steps down. He's got to chip the defensive end. We're going to try to help Dak and give him more time. Yes, all sounds great. We're giving him more time. The only problem is we're giving him more time by chipping, but we're also making it harder on him because the timing of the read, we're forcing him to almost hold the ball longer because the timing of the read doesn't play out because it takes this guy too long to get to where we need him to be. So you see this. Look, see where he's at? My in is already breaking. And my shallow is way over here on the backside hash, so I am getting no influence on the defender that is underneath there. Okay, beautiful thing is great timing, great throw by Dak, boom, right on the money. It's beautiful. But the only reason it's beautiful is because this guy screws it up. This guy chases the inside in, otherwise we are dead in the water. Okay, so let's just say he lets it go to this guy like he should, and he stays sitting right there. We are screwed across the board. We can't throw the in. And even if I come down to throw the shallow, he's in position to stay outside the shallow and come down and blow that up or play it because my guy is not there fast enough. Difference. If this guy goes now, and let's say this guy gets to this window at the same time. Now that defender is in a dilemma. The defender either has to hold deep, and if he holds deep, now we're in a position to catch this and go out the backside. If he doesn't hold deep and he comes down to hold leverage on the outside, now we're opening up the window to the inside. So we're getting exactly what we want and the high-low, but here it just becomes they screw it up and we beat it with a great throw and a great catch, but it's about details, okay? I'm going to give you more details, okay? Well, I would do on this with my inside guy, okay? With my inside guy is I would seam him inside. So I would seam him inside further. Kurt, why would you seam him inside further? Well, two things. That when I seam him inside, oftentimes that's actually going to release this guy. So when I seam inside, I know his responsibility that he's probably not going to chase me inside. He might, but he probably is not going to chase me. And the reason I want that is because I want to release that defender to have to cover the high-low. I want him to be released from me, and I really want him to see this shallow and jump the shallow so we can get the in behind him. So I'm going to seam inside to try to release him from me. So now he gets out there, and now he's got to cover that. The other thing I'm going to do when I seam inside is I'm going to hold off this next defender, because that's really the guy that I'm worried about, is that next defender. Why do you say that? Because if we're running this and this guy comes down and takes the shallow, the only guy that can really take the in away is this Mike linebacker pushing through to take that in away. Okay? So I don't want to ever let that Mike linebacker get there because I want this guy to be the guy in the bind all the time. So I'm going to seam inside and I'm going to put pressure on this next linebacker when I seam inside. Let me get rid of that. I'm going to seam inside because this guy now, when you seam inside, it holds him off because he's worried about what you're going to do. So he holds you off. It keeps him inside further, and it just creates a bigger window here for the shallow and the in to happen. It's just that we need the shallow to get there. Got to get there. Got to get there. Otherwise, they're in perfect position to play this. And you see this guy, again, pushing over. So just watch the Mike linebacker here. See him pushing the whole time? Now, if CD Lamb was here and attacking him and he felt that, he's not going to push as much through. He's going to carry that more, and we're creating two more yards of a window for the outside guy, even though this works out. Great timing, great throw, great play on the outside by quarterback and receiver, but the details of the route could be better. Okay? All right, here's another one. Okay, this play down here, you could call it a choice. I like to call it dodge because of how we run it. Okay, so what it's going to be is it's going to be a choice route here by Brandon Cooks. I guess they give him the ability to hook, break in, break out, I believe. And then there's going to be a 7 route or a corner route up over the top of it. One of my favorite plays when I was playing. Okay, but anytime we're running these routes, what I want to understand if I'm the choice runner is I want to understand what's over the top of me. Okay? What does that mean? Okay, what it means is what's over the top of me as a choice route is a corner route. Okay, why is that important to me as a receiver? It's important because I know that in this particular look, somebody has to cover the corner. Somebody's got to cover him. I know that somebody has to cover him. So if I know that I got a guy running a corner route, if I'm the choice route runner, I'm saying to myself, okay, I've got a route coming outside in the deep area of the field. If there's anything, I'd like to attack outside. So if I come down and attack outside and I've got another guy going outside, that defender's going to be in a bind, right? He could only cover one of the two. So I'm going to try to put pressure on the guy that would be in conflict between the other route that I'm running. Okay, so just by contrast, okay, let's say we were running the tight end on an in route. Okay, if I'm running him on an in route, then this outside guy is not the most important guy. This guy is the most important guy. So if that was the case, as I was running my choice route, I would probably want to get a little bit more inside, or I'd want to think breaking inside more. As I'm coming off and reading this, I'm going to read the inside guy. If he gets depth, I want to break inside because I know that I've got a complementary route going to the inside. So it's so important to understand where our route's going. So we've got a 7 route or a corner route here. So the way that we used to run this dodge is I would bring him down and I would keep him outside, okay, which they do here, which I like that because when they keep him outside, it forces this linebacker to stay inside. He should never really pop outside of both of these guys, but if the choice route runner gets inside of the corner, now it's cutting down the space that that linebacker has to cover. If I stay outside of him, he's staying inside the number 2 receiver, it creates more space, okay? So when I do that, I come down and I realize here, there is nobody else outside except the corner. The only person outside of me is the corner. So with that, I'm going to do one of two things, okay? As this route runner, if I'm coming off and I feel him getting depth, I am just going to break this out. I'm going to run a 5-yard out route. So the quarterback knows, hey, I can get my eyes on the corner right now. He gets depth, I'm throwing the out route because you've got distance away from the linebacker inside of you. Okay? The other way that you can do this, if you feel it's zone, what we used to say is if there was a guy sitting out here, when you run this, what I want you to do is off of this, I want you to run with width at the defender outside of you. I want to get yourself away from this defender. I'm always going to talk about this. Who's the biggest problem on this play? The biggest problem is not the corner because the corner can't be right. If I break out and we've got a corner over the top of him, he can't be right. He can cover the deep one, but he can't cover the short one. He can cover the short one, he can't cover the deep one. So he's not my problem. My problem is the guy that can take this play away. So the problem is the backer inside. So if the outside corner drops back and covers the corner route, this is the guy, if he runs out and covers me, we're screwed on this play because we let the two of those guys cover the two of us. So as we snap this, here's what I would love to see. A little pause by Brandon Cooks, but then I would love to see him widen this and run a hook route or the choice route. So you'll see right here what he does, right? He pushes almost vertical. Now he does a great job at the top of this of folding outside and falling away, kind of exactly what we're talking about. Fall away outside the numbers to stay away from this guy. But you see what the issue is on this play. He comes running up straight vertical, and he cuts down the space there is for that inside linebacker to cover this. They still get it. We throw it. We get it outside. But love to see him widen, attack outside the numbers, put all the pressure on this guy, keep yourself away from the guy inside of you, and it makes it just a little cleaner and easier for our quarterback. And it may even grab the attention of that corner as you run at him. Maybe he jumps down and gives us the one over the top, but little small details that become so important based on the rest of the concept. I'd actually like this play that they run right here. Okay, so we get down into the red zone. A lot of teams will run, call 7, 20, 2. Okay, so it's an under, it's a corner. Actually, Dallas hit it for a touchdown against Washington, their last game of the year. Brandon Cooks. So I really like that. That's a play everybody runs, but I really like this complement to it. So this complement to it is we're going to push up as if we're going to run that corner route. And then Ferguson's going to come up as if he's running this under, and it's what we call a hint route. come up, hint that linebacker, and then you're going to try to jump up over the top of that linebacker. And then this guy out here is going to start as if he's running the under, and then he's going to pivot back to the outside. Okay, so what's the goal here of this play? So really what we're trying to do is Brandon Cooks is going to go first. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get Brandon Cooks to grab this safety. So we're going to get him to grab that safety, and then we're hoping to get Ferguson one-on-one on this underneath linebacker, hint him inside, and jump up over the top for the touchdown. That's what we're hoping. Get these safeties to split and hit Ferguson on the little hint route down the middle of the field. Okay, so let's run this one time. And you see, we kind of get exactly what we want. We get the safety to turn and open here. This is the area that we're trying to attack. A lot of contact here that kind of messes this up, and Campbell does a good job of covering him. But you see what we're trying to get here. Okay, that gets pressure, so we don't really like this. And probably if he didn't have pressure, we probably wouldn't throw it there. But that's what we're trying to do. So first thing is I would love on this one for Ferguson to come down more shallow first, almost as if he's running a shallow to keep this defender down. Force this defender to attack the line of scrimmage. That's what helps us to jump over him a little bit more. And it happens a little bit faster so we can see that contact as opposed to pushing up 5 yards, then doing it, then trying to get over the top of him. It allows this guy to push with depth. So everything we want to do, we want to get him coming down this way, get him coming down towards the line of scrimmage because I'm trying to jump over the top of him. Okay? But anyways, they run it this way, and they actually get covered right here. But I want to try to walk through the rest of this route because I really like it. Okay? So it's here, and instead of a corner, they're going to run him on a corner stop. So I love that. So as they're pushing this up, if this guy wants to stay outside of him and this safety wants to cover this hint down the middle of the field, then we're just going to replace. Linebacker chases there just like he does here. I don't have the one down the middle. Replace to the stop coming here, and that's where this is important. We don't want to keep this guy going inside because he would cover up the stop, so we're going to pull him back out on the outside. So if there's a backer that falls underneath the stop, we recover back outside. So I really like the concept right here, and you see it. Maybe a little deep on this, but you see him turning on the stop. Cover, cover. This would be the throw right there. We get covered to the outside. That would be the throw that we want to take. I just think the timing needs to be a little bit better. Brandon Cooks maybe not quite as deep. Ferguson faster to this. Boom, push up right on the goal line. Stop right there. And I think that's our recovery throw if we have time and we can see it play out. But really good play concept right there. Love it. Nice little compliment to what they did with the 722. And Dallas had a lot of those this year where they had some really solid basic plays, and then they had some great complementary plays off of it. That was one of them. That was a great complementary play. Okay, here we're going to try to run double rubs on both sides. So this is a kind of a sticky one for me because I don't like to tell my receivers to go out of their way to get a rub. I like to set them up in a way where they can run their route and the details of their route and still get a rub. But there are certain times when I think it's vital to go ahead and go out of your way and create a rub. And specifically like when we're down on the 1 yard line, there is a rule in the NFL that says if the defender is playing press man and is within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, you can basically block him. There is no pass interference at that point. You can run through him. You can block him. You can do whatever you need to do if he's in a press situation 1 yard from the line of scrimmage. So here, Dallas is basically running double rubs. They're going to seam inside and run a route. They're going to seam inside and run a route. And then they're going to run these fades off of it. Okay, so let's watch it real quick. And you'll see what they do on both sides. See how they seam inside on both sides, trying to create the rub. And then they've got these little wheel routes, flat route on the top with it. So one thing is we don't want to get too close together because you get too close together and these teams do a great job of passing it off. So I like and understand why they've got a little bit more width than normal. All I would say here is when you got double press on your side, you get double press, go and block the guy. Go block him and free up CeeDee Lamb right now off of it. And we're basically just selling out to get the rub here because they're in perfect position and because we're not really doing anything here that is going to get open. So that side I would probably just go and block. On the other side, right, you're going to see that they're going to run here, here, and a corner, and then a flat off of it. So set your angle hard and almost run to block that defender, and then you can get into your route after that. So if they happen to pass it off on the top, and this guy jumps inside, and this guy jumps outside on the flat, now we have leverage to the corner on the top side, but I would go a little bit more out of my way on the 1 yard line to basically just run through the defender because it's not illegal when they're within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, and it gives us a little better opportunity to win on that rub. Okay? Like this play, always a good concept here. Double smash, or I call it double horn, because it's a hitch in a corner. Okay, hitch, corner, and then they're going to run the choice or the juke route inside with CeeDee Lamb. Great play, getting CeeDee Lamb isolated on a linebacker, awesome. You take that any day of the week. I'm just a guy that likes to read outside in. So I know the juke's going to take a little bit longer or the choice is going to take a little bit longer. So I always like to read it outside in. A, to verify what's going on the outside, and B, just to take a gimme if there's a gimme. And so the biggest thing is always want to know which way do we really want this guy to go. So we used to run this with a juke where we never gave them the opportunity to return back to the same side. So it was here and hold, or here, hesitate, and then come across the field. Why is that important? Because now if I'm Dak and everything is equal, I'm going to keep my eyes over here and I'm going to read this horn first and make sure they cover it, make sure all these guys work in this direction, and then I'm just going to replace because I know that CeeDee Lamb's coming in that direction. So I'm going to see the bodies, I'm going to be in front of the throw, and then I'm going to take it. Now, it's not always going to be equal. You see this guy up more in a press, this guy in and off. So you could always just say, well, forget it. I'm going to read over to this side first and then recover to CeeDee. That's okay too. You just got to know what's in front of it when you come there. But I always like reading this outside in. Okay, so here, right here, you see it. If we're reading this outside in, again, I don't know. You make the decision right there. But I could take the hitch to the outside. If I felt Alexander stayed down, then I've got leverage. I could maybe even take the corner over the top of it, and then I can come to CeeDee Lamb coming out of it. Or if I read it to the top, I'm probably taking this hitch right now, and then I'll live for another day with CeeDee, but then I recover into CeeDee. But now we're not passing up an opportunity on one of these easy hitches to the outside in hopes that CeeDee wins. I'm giving myself a chance to read, take an easy one, and then work to CeeDee from there. But works out, they get it, he jukes, they get a nice big play off of this. I like it, good concept. Again, always just about details. Okay, here we go again with the one that I called F post. Boom, 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 check, swing, and then CeeDee having the opportunity to run the post. And this is why I think they give him the opportunity to read it, and there it is. That same thing that we saw the first time out. He sat it down when I thought he should have run through it. Maybe it's only a sit. Maybe they only had it that way, and there wasn't a read on it this week. But he just sits down in the hole. So this shows me, yep, that's what they were doing the last time. They miscommunicated. This time, a little more clean. Works out nicely, and they stick it on him. The other thing, and the only other thing that I would always say is, I always question, and I did it on one of the other videos when they had triple slant to that side, is why do I have my back to that side? Okay, if I'm trying to get CeeDee Lamb open to this side, I don't want to bring anybody else to the party. Okay, so you see right here, because the back is over here, this defender is they're already pushed to this side because I got 4 receivers there. So even though it may not matter in the end, why do I want these linebackers to be pushed over? What I really want is I want these linebackers, and specifically this Mike linebacker, to be as tight to the ball as possible because I'm trying to hit this window. So if I'm going to force him to go wider by bringing a fourth receiver over to that side, I'm doing a disservice to my play. If I wanted to throw it backside, oh, this is a plus. I'm plussing them over so I can throw it back behind them. But if I want to throw it front side, bringing it back over there pluses them to the front side and now makes it harder because there's more bodies to the front side. Again, doesn't mean it's not going to work out. Worked out fine there, but it's just overall why. Why am I doing that? What does putting the back to the strong side, what advantage does that give me to the primary part of my play? Okay, so right here, again, just another teaching tool. So we talked a little bit about it before where they had the 722 was common for them under. Then a complementary to that is something that we call knife. So instead of a 7 route or a corner route, now it becomes a skinny post or an in route. So we switch it up. So if safeties are getting high and outside to take away the corner, now we're going to get a guy down to the inside and we're going to have a high-low to the inside portion of it, okay? Quarterbacks, coaches, when you ever have this play where we have double unders here on the outside, yes, your read is always going to start to the inside, so that's not a worry. But I want you to memory bank it pre-snap, what you have on the outside. Okay, so what I have on the outside is I have an off corner against my outside under. The reason I say that is because on this concept, the route that comes the cleanest, the most often, is the outside under if you've got an off corner. You just watch it on tape, go back and watch how many times you run it. It comes open all the time, okay? But we want to have that in our mind pre-snap because otherwise we're so conscious of what's happening here that we're looking to get an advantage and throw it there instead of going, hey, it's got to be clean inside. If it's clean, I'm ready to throw it. But if not, I know I've got this easy steal on the outside, okay? The other thing that I already see right here is I see press on this number 2. Already with press, even if he ends up getting leverage inside, it's going to be harder because it's going to be contended. So I got press by number 2. I got off by number 1. Let's just watch how it plays out. So this play becomes pretty much dead, this part of it, because they roll to a middle safety. So they roll to a middle safety. I might even say, Dak, that side over there is our cover 2 side. So come back here to the choice on this side. But regardless, we can read it out the front side. We know that it's dead. We feel like we've got man-to-man here. Great. Man-to-man, we'll just take that out of there. Now I'm ready to go here to here. But what did I say? You got press on number 2. It's always going to make it harder when you got press. See, now there's a little separation there. There's an opportunity to win there. But where's the easy one? Where's the easy throw on this play? Easy throw on this play is outside. Easy throw is right now. And I knew it. This is dead as soon as they go safety down. As soon as I see this guy clamp to him, get to your throw out here, off corner, soft leverage, easy throw and completion. This ball ends up getting knocked down anyways, but it's going to be a tight throw to the inside. And it's just, again, another teaching tool on where do we start on that play. Yes, my high-low is inside, but see the big picture. Understand where the easy throw is, and then read through it, knowing in the back of your mind that's a very, very viable option because it comes open so often. All right, so this play. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I'm going to believe, because I've seen it before, is they're going to run an influence post right here. They're going to run an under out here, and then I believe CD is supposed to be running the in back behind it. So it's the under concept. Run a guy down the middle, and then you get the high-low off of this outside linebacker. So what Green Bay does is they're playing what I call high cover 2. So cover 2 safety, running back to a cover 2 safety. They're dropping their high player down into the middle, almost like a Tampa 2 linebacker. He's playing high through the middle. but they're playing a too high safety look. Okay, so this particular play, again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to get a high-low right here off of these two guys. Okay, this guy is a bonus. If they've got the middle open and there's a shot down the middle, he's a bonus guy for us, but he's not the primary. The primary is one of these two guys on the outside. So as I come back and see this, if I'm going to read to this front side, where am I reading? I'm reading whatever defender is right here. Okay, that's the guy that I'm reading. So as I come out of this, even if I don't see the rotation, what I see is a guy in the middle of the field, so I know this guy's dead. That guy's dead. So I'm coming out and I'm reading this area of the field. Okay? On this play, obviously this guy voids that area. So the defender who really is covering that area is this next backer inside once they void it. But regardless, if I come out and I know this guy's dead, and I come out reading this area, and I see this guy running out of there, throw it. Throw it right now. There's no one else to cover it. Throw the under right now. Just take it. Boom, right there. There it is. Take it, right? He's out of there. If I feel this guy come screaming to it, then I'll replace back behind it with the in. But I'm coming out ready to throw this one, and right off the bat, there is nobody in the window right there. This ball should be out if you're reading it the way that I read it. Looks like Dak's reading down the middle of the field. To me, middle of the field was dead from the get-go because I got a guy standing in the middle of the field. So this was a 1 to 2 type read off of that hook defender right there, and the ball should have been completed and out of Dak's hands right now. If he's not taught to read it that way, if he's taught to read it here, to here, to here, to me, they're doing him a disservice because you see it big picture-wise, and you know when the middle is dead. Now it becomes simply a high-low. You got to get over here and you got to be ready to take that under right now. So missed opportunity. Actually, we end up getting back to it late and getting the completion. But hopefully you see what I'm talking about. Okay, love the play design right here. They ran a play earlier where they brought Pollard out and brought him back across here. I don't know if it was an angle on that one or if it was a choice route, and he broke across his face and they got a big play on it. So love the play design. Again, a lot of good complementary things within Dallas's offense. So they come back with this. They're going to run that tight end on a post. They're going to bring Pollard up on that choice, hesitate, and run what we call a choice and go. Okay, so he's going to fake the choice, get that linebacker to stop his feet because he got beat before, and then jump up over the top of him. Really good play design. We get the backside corner to chase. We get exactly what we want. Now we just got to make this throw. Got to time it up. We got to lay it out there, and we got to get this throw. Great play design. Just wanted to show it because I really like it. It's something you should have in your playbook if you run your tailbacks on a choice route at any time, any of this stuff. Love how they do it. Clear that out. I like the tight alignment on the backside to really condense the backside and give this guy a whole bunch of room over there. Just missed the throw on this one. Probably should have been a touchdown. All right. So another concept that everybody runs. Okay, so I either call it a pogo or a poco. So depending if I have a go on the outside, I would call this a pogo route. It stems from the poco route, which is a post in a corner. Pogo just is a go on the outside with the corner route. And then most of the time, you're going to run a flat here. So you're going to try to clear out the outside, and it's designed to get a high-low with the flat and the corner being our primary guy, so we're trying to get him open. All right? So on this particular play, what you're going to see is you're going to see that we run, instead of running a flat here, we're going to run a return. Okay, so we're going to run a return here and a corner here. Now, I understand why. Okay, you run this, I believe, because you're trying to run it against man coverage, so you can get two runaways against man. Or maybe you're saying they're playing a defense where they're dropping hard outside, dropping the corner back, and we can't get either one of these, so we're going to bring the return back inside of him and try to hit him right there. Okay. The only problem I have with running a return is that if a defense can see it, if you're not patient enough, that when this guy turns and runs and starts to return back inside, it frees the corner up. So if I'm running a flat, doesn't free him up. He's got to cover it or not cover it if I'm running at him. Once I start to go back inside, it frees him up to be able to drop off, and I'm running back into a zone defender that's already sitting back inside. So to me, it's counterproductive. If I'm trying to get the corner, then leave something out underneath the corner so I can try to throw it. Don't try to get too cute and go, I'm going to pretend like we're going out there and then we're going back inside, because if it doesn't happen on the same timing, all you're doing is making it easier on the defense and say, okay, outside guy cover the corner, inside guy just wait here, you'll cover the return. And it's, to me, a cute way of kind of trying to get two things out of this, but messing up the original part of the play. So you see it right here that, look what the Packers do. They do exactly what I said, right? This guy falls back. This guy jumps this. If I'm reading to the front side, I'm in trouble because we're not isolating and attacking a particular zone and putting a particular guy in conflict. Now, I'm not a big fan of this against cover two anyways, because this guy can do a good job of baiting us. So I love that Dak does a great job in getting back to the in route. The high-low on the backside is where I like to go against cover two. But I just wanted to talk about that pivot route that they have, the return route that they have right here, and why, although it sounds really good, I don't like to have it on there because I want to make sure that I get this stretch, this conflict every single time I run it, as opposed to possibly putting them or giving them an easier opportunity to cover it by running right back into where guys are supposed to play anyways. Good job by Dak. Good reset. You find the tight end on the backside. Really well done right there. All right, so this is a pinch concept, okay? So pinch to me is an influence with an in, and then we call it pinch because it's a choice or a hook route, to me, underneath it, okay? So that's the concept. We got an influence, kind of a clear out on the inside, and we've got the in here, okay? So what I'm going to show you again is similar to the last play, okay? It's what are we trying to throw on this route? Trying to throw the in, okay? Doesn't mean we can't get the throw down the middle, but we're trying to throw the in. That's the primary guy on this play, okay? So when am I not going to throw the in? I'm not going to throw the in if somebody drops into that hook area, gets depth in that hook area, and takes away the in. So if that's the case, where do I want to put my secondary route? I want my secondary route to be in the low area of that hook zone. So if the hook defender gets deep, replace him with the hook. If the hook defender wants to cover the hook, now he opens up the window over the top of him to the in. So just like I don't like the return, I like the flat when I'm running the corner over the top of it, because now it isolates whoever's covering out by the numbers. This, I want to isolate who's ever in the hook area. But what do you see right here? What do you see? This guy goes back to cover the in. Look at the hook area. Hook area is wide open for 10, 12 yards. So if Tony Pollard just stays right here in the hook area, we throw it to him right here, he turns and he gets all that space to go up and run. Instead, we as the Cowboys, they do kind of push him up into that hook area, but then they run him out. Okay, and I'm always going to ask, why? Why are we running him out? Okay, why do we run him out of that area? Because that means this guy can cover the hook, and this guy is in the other zone to be able to cover the flat or the out. You see it right here. That's exactly what they do. Boom. One guy covers the hook on the inside. The other guy covers the out and makes the tackle. If we just stop. Stop right there. Run it right there. We catch it right there. Now, nobody has leverage. Now we've got more space, and now we make a more definitive read for the quarterback because he doesn't have to worry about two guys. He only has to worry about the inside guy now. And what does that guy do? We make it easier. We don't lend ourselves to the defense playing different zones and taking away different throws. We're truly putting one guy in conflict, which is what makes the game easier for the quarterback. All right. So this is a play here I call 72. So it's a 7, a corner route, a 2, it's an under route coming underneath it. To me, this is a man beater. Only a man beater. Because once again, you got two guys going to different zones. So if they're playing zone and this guy's playing the deep third and this guy is playing the hook to curl area, which is what's going to happen in most zones when that's the case, we're running right into them. It's not good against that zone unless they screw it up. So it's really only a man beater. Okay, if I know I'm getting man, now I got runaways by both guys, and it becomes a really good play against man. Okay, so that's the first part of this is you got to know that you have man. Now, over here, to me, it doesn't look like man at all. Now, maybe it was because you see the outside corner kind of jump and chase man. You see kind of a man match to the front side. So maybe this guy was just playing a cop defender and you had man with this defender and man with this defender. But regardless, having that extra guy over there makes me say to myself, I don't really like it over there. It looks more like zone. And I don't really need to go over there because I've got a good man or zone beater to the other side with the corner off over there, okay? So as we come out of it right here and Dak looks left, and there's exactly the problem against zone. This guy is in perfect position to cover the under. Now, this guy kind of jumps him, but if this guy were to fall back, I'm looking over here and I got nothing. So hate reading this against zone because I'm hoping somebody screws it up, right? That this corner jumps in zone for some dumb reason and gives us the corner over the top. Or that this guy carries in zone and it gives us the under underneath it. But as long as they do what they're supposed to do, underneath backer stays in his zone. Oops, that's dead. This guy stays back in his zone. That's dead. I don't like to read over there unless I know without a doubt that it's man-to-man. I know it's 2-on-2 over there. Okay, so with front side, we've got check swing. We've got curl. To me, I got corner off over there. I'm coming back to get the curl all day long unless one of these guys drops underneath it. Then I will kick it to my swing over to that side. And you see it right there. Boom. If we go to the front side, there it is. There's your curl right behind this guy. The other thing that I wouldn't do that I know Dallas does on this play is they always check their back here. If I'm running a curl, I need this guy as wide as possible, as quickly as possible. So I would not check that guy. I would just let him free release right now. If they bring pressure, he can be my hot. But I want to get him as wide as possible. So just like we see on this particular play, as you come back, if you're coming back to the curl, this guy stays just somewhat underneath it. That could deter you from throwing it. That's why I'd love this guy to free release and be outside the numbers. So now this guy will have to tell me definitively who we have on that play. All right. Next level off of this. Okay, so what we used to do on this play down here. Okay, so we didn't have the same problem I was talking about with them having to pass it off or mess it up or whatever. We always ran this as an under concept. Okay, so the guy on the inside would run a 12 to 14 yard in, and the outside guy would run an under. So anytime we got zone, we could read it to that side if we only had one defender there, and he would be put in a bind with a high-low over there. So it was a good zone beater when we had one defender underneath. So if I got that, if I had that play here, I'd be in great shape. I'd come back, I read this guy, he gets outside of him, boom, there's my in route right now. I'm golden. So that's where we always started this play. Always ran it that way. And then we added an adjustment that said, if this guy gets to 12 yards and the guy inside of him carries him. So if this defender carries him to 12 yards, okay, you can break out. Doesn't matter. Man or zone, doesn't matter. If it's zone and he carries you, I should be throwing this underneath one. Doesn't matter. If it's man and he's carrying you, now this is where it gives us the advantage of I can still hit the under portion of it, but if he's carrying you to your 12-yard depth and you break out, now I get what I want, and I get a runaway or a breakaway in man coverage and a winner on that side of it too. So I get a winner inside and outside based on what the defense does, and I've given myself a play or a concept that is now good against anything. I've got a high-low here against that one defender inside. If they want to change it to man, now I've got two runaways inside, outside, and we're golden. Always tell our guys, err on going inside. If you're not sure, go inside, okay? But if you feel that guy carrying you, you work on it, you have the ability to break out of it. I actually ran this play in the Super Bowl with the Cardinals. The 64-yard touchdown to Larry Fitzgerald was this play. And they went two-man, so Anquan Boldin broke out. He took the safety. He took his defender. So when Larry caught this in the middle, there was nobody else there, and we were able to score a touchdown on that and take the lead in the Super Bowl. But that adjustment is what allowed us to do that, and now it becomes a play that's good against zone and good against man. All right, here we come back to the play that we saw down in the red zone from these guys, a play that we call knife. So it's here, down the middle. We're going to push up, run in, push up, run in. Okay, so we're trying to get this against a too-high safety look. So we get a too-high safety look. I want to high-low this defender right here. We got to go on the backside, so if they want to push this over and give me that one-on-one again, I can go backside if I want it. Otherwise, middle open, I want to stay to the front side. Okay, so here we go. We drop back. Read's right there on this guy. There's the read. That's what we're looking for. Very similar to what we were talking about on the last play where it was the under and the over. Reading that one defender. That defender stays down. There's my throw right there. That defender goes high, then my throw becomes the underneath throw. So right here, boom, this ball to me should be on CeeDee Lamb right now. So what am I doing as a quarterback? I'm coming back, seeing this look. I'm going to come back and just peek this guy. Okay, peek this guy. He does what I want him to do. Then my eyes get right back here, and I see if this guy comes down or goes high. Okay? So right there, I get what I want on the backside. I'm right back to the linebacker. Boom. There's the throw. Got to be up and down over the top to CeeDee Lamb. That's where we've got our shot right on this play. Not sure why Dak got off of it. And then, as we always say, right, we can go ahead and read this high-low. If you're not comfortable with that, then you just work right out to this number 3, and you see the number 1 on the outside, but the number 3 read, and there it is, right out there in front of you. There's the completion to the big tight end if you don't like CeeDee Lamb, but looked like Dak just got through this too fast. I'm not sure what it was. He got an easy jump by the linebacker. One hit should be up over the top to CeeDee Lamb or working out to that under instead of having to create something like this. Okay, this is a little bit better. We talked about this earlier. This is kind of that same dodge idea, choice with the 7. I love how Ferguson, and that's why I put this on here. See how Ferguson chases outside, chases the corner outside? Great job. He stays away from this defender. He chases this guy down, forcing this guy to have to read high-low, but he's creating space from the biggest problem on this play, which is that backer inside of him. Love the technique right here. I don't know if it's by design or not, but I love it. Get the spacing, attack that corner, put him in a bind, create that separation, and get a nice play. All right, like the play design right here, more of what we call a pure progression play. So we're going to have a corner, a flat, then we're going to come off of this and bring the rest of the guys to the party over here. But we're really going to pure progress it over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more times than not. So as we come back right here, I'm always going to tell you guys, quarterbacks, always read when you got plays like this, especially when you've got a deep corner route and a flat, set and read the deep one first. So come back, getting set and ready to throw the underneath one. It's much easier to recover from deep to short than it is to recover from short to deep. So come out looking at the deep one in a situation like this so you can be on time and you can be ready. And when I say deep one, I know a lot of people in pure progression look at the receiver. I'm still reading this defender. If I get a too high look, I'm still reading this defender, but I'm reading it and my footwork is timing it up to where I'm ready to throw the corner and then I'll recover underneath it. So this was one here. I thought Dak had a touchdown to the corner route. So even though this defender is turning and his shoulders are turned and he's getting depth, what I want you to understand, and the beautiful part of this, is they do a nice job of condensing the alignment of this corner route. So they're down inside the numbers. So the beautiful thing when we get a corner inside the numbers is that it's really hard for him to get the width he needs to cover to the sideline. So when I see that, right off the bat, I'm saying to myself, as long as I hold leverage on this safety, that corner has to turn and run to take away the corner route. And I'll show you why. So we come back, and this corner, right, is doing a pretty good job getting back. But if I throw this ball to the back pylon, so back by the sideline, there is no way that this defender is going to be able to take that right angle and catch the ball or catch this over the top of him, right? See it right there? See, if Dak makes this throw right here to the back pylon, there is no chance for that corner to cover enough ground running like this to stop it. So I come out and I'm reading the speed, as much as the body language, the speed by which that corner is getting out. I'm over the top of him right now. If I'm Michael Gallup, I'm throwing this to the back pylon, and I've got myself an easy touchdown on this play. Now, I understand why Dak threw it underneath. Seeing this guy with this body language and turn, I understand in a normal situation why he's going, man, he's covering the deep one, I'm throwing it underneath. But it's understanding all of the different little elements that go into it, is that it's not a guy that's turning and running full speed like my guy is running full speed to get to the back pylon. It's a guy that's slow playing it, even though he's turning his hips to the inside. He's slow playing it, so my guy beat him right now. It's over right now because I'm throwing him up and away as opposed to throwing him back into the defender and making it an easy play for the defender. This, to me, should be gone to the corner, and I know it right now. Right now, that corner does that, I'm throwing it to the corner for a touchdown every single time. All right, so I broke down the play that was an interception where they ran this return and they ran a corner over the top of it. Broke it down. Check it out on Twitter if you want to see that aspect. And I'm not going to break that play down again, but that's a complementary play to this. So this is simply just an out and a corner. Okay, so when we're reading this out and corner, just like on the last one, what I'm doing is I'm coming out and I'm seeing the corner on this play. Not the corner route, I'm seeing the corner defender. Okay, because in this look, he's the only guy that can take away the out. He's the only guy. There's nobody else out there that can take away the out. So my eyes are on that corner from the get-go. Whatever he does, he gets depth, I am ready to throw that quick out right now. He squats his feet, I am ready to get over the top of him to the corner because he's the only one that can cover both of these guys. So as we come out and I see this, now there's a couple things that I might do a little bit differently. This one isn't terrible by CD. You know, what I always like to tell my guys is chase the outside number of the corner. You want to get outside of him. As soon as you get outside of him, that's what gives the quarterback the read that he wants. You get outside of that guy, and he's got to turn his hips to cover you. So the sooner you can get width on your stem to get outside of him, the sooner I can get a read. CD is doing a pretty good job here, I think. Like to see him maybe a little bit more width, but doing a nice job. So because this guy's backing up, you could easily say if Dak's ready here, he could be throwing this ball and he could get this completion right here. Okay? That could be a completion for him because of the depth of the back pedal of the corner. But by the same token, you could also say, well, I saw this guy squat his feet and flatten off and get ready to jump that. And when he does, I've got to reset and I got to throw this. I got to get this ball out of my hand. So this should be a completion if you're throwing it on time, but I understand seeing that guy jump him, no problem. But the only other read, it becomes this guy. And then we work to the shallow. So got to be ready for the out and then the quick reset right there and drive the corner. There it is, right there. There's our window. There's our shot right there. Got to be on it to take it. Now again, now we become a scramble and a throwaway instead of a completion that was set up right there in front of us. So there's a look at a bunch of different things in this Dallas game, and it's about little details. There's some good stuff. There's some good compliments. The ideas on a lot of them are really, really good, but it's the details to me that separates them from being really good plays in this game and executing them really, really well and not being able to do that. Some's on the quarterback, just getting more comfortable with the reads and being more definitive with his reads. Some is on the design or the execution and the plays being run better to help the quarterback have the best advantage to being successful on every play, putting a defender in conflict so they can't be right. That's what we're trying to do on offense. Put the defense in conflict so somebody has to be wrong on every play. We're not getting everybody open, but we're getting somebody open.